I awake with her facing the window, still as always, the faint rays of the sunrise teasing the violet sky with its golden fingers. The blanket had fallen to the floor at some point in the night, exposing her pale, smooth skin. She was breathtaking in the early morning light. I put my hand on her shoulder and started to raise myself with the other to kiss her good morning before I got ready for work. As she slowly rolled over, I started leaning towards her to give her a kiss. Good morning, I stopped mid-sentence as my heart stopped and my breath caught in my throat. Jen, it can't be. No, Jen, no, this can't be. No, Jen, I'm so sorry. Shit, all the blood. No. In a cold sweat, and with an animalistic roar, I sit bolt in the bed. That same dream again. More of a memory, I suppose. It's been only 2 years since that day, the day everything changed. My name is John Grimm. 2 years and 3 months ago, my girlfriend Jennifer Rain died. This is the story of how that happened and what followed. I should start at the beginning, I suppose, which would be a year and a half before Jen died. I was aware that I was odd from a young age. Well, if you call preteen years young. It was frightening at first, the very first time especially. I thought I was dying. I actually left my body and was able to look at myself sleeping. Like I said, I thought I was dying, but when I woke up the next morning, I knew something weird had happened. I tried to tell my mom, but she brushed it off as a strange dream. And for a while I believed her. Until it happened again. And then again. Each time I got bolder, traveling farther from my body, and eventually actually flying through the air. It was amazing. The sensation of soaring was unbelievable. I decided not to tell anyone for fear of them thinking I was crazy. Soon I was able to control what nights it happened on and which nights it didn't. Most nights I left my body behind to stroll around the world disconnected from physical being. Saw some weird things during those nightly strolls. What I could only describe as ghosts at the time. Everything was fine until one day it happened during class. It was a boring class, everyone doing their own work. I had finished early and was slouched over looking absently out the window, when suddenly I was standing beside my desk looking at myself. My head had fallen to the desk like I had suddenly fallen asleep. I just stared for a moment, wondering how it happened. And then just as suddenly I was back, sitting down, my eyes shot open and I sat bolt in my desk. I looked around to see if anyone noticed, and to my surprise, one of the girls in my class was staring at me with a sly smile. As you guessed, that was Jen, and that was how we met, sort of. As I was walking out of class for lunch, Jen caught me. "Hey," she smiled at me. "Hey, your name's Jennifer, right?" I was kind of surprised she was even talking to me. "Call me Jen," still smiling that smile of hers that I would come to know very well. "And your name's John, right?" she asked in return. I took this opportunity to try and be classy and smooth. "Yes, John Grimm, at your service," I said with a little bow. She giggled at this and asked me to sit with her at lunch. I had no plans, so I agreed, but honestly, even if I did have plans, I would have canceled them anyway. We found an empty hallway and sat down to start eating. After a few minutes, she looked at me with a huge smile and bright eyes. "I saw what you did in class today," she said excitedly. I nearly choked. Through my coughing, I asked, "What do you mean?" She practically fell over laughing. Once she stopped, she looked at me and said, "You know, when you stepped out of your body." She said it so matter-of-factly that my mouth almost certainly dropped. I don't want to talk about it here, but if you want to hear about it, then come over to my house tomorrow after school, and I'll tell you all about it. I told her, and instantly felt like the biggest idiot ever. I mean, I hardly even know this girl, and I just promised to tell her my biggest secret. What was I thinking? "Sounds good," she answered before I had a chance to take it back. I had no idea what I was getting myself into at the time, but looking back, I wouldn't do it differently. And that is how we met. That's how things began, that one meeting and that one promise I made to a girl I had just met. What happened the day after was incredible and a very long story. So, if you sat through that whole thing, that was the first part to my new story, which doesn't have a name yet. I do believe I'll just be calling it Son of the Reaper. Simple, short, and easy to remember, and easily changed later when I figure out what it's actually going to be called. Sorry, I'm gonna have to multitask with you guys because I'm running out of recording time, and by that I mean I'm running out of time before my roommate gets back, and he's very loud. He's mostly a drummer, but he's been playing a lot of guitar lately. He has Vine, so if you have Vine or you go on Vine and watch Vines, maybe you don't Vine yourself, but if you have access to Vine, feel free to go check him out. It is Spinny space Kid. SPINNY, and then Kid, spelled like you would spell kid. So, yeah, if you want to go check him out, he's on Vine. He does a lot of guitar vines. He's been doing some screaming vines too, like metal stuff, like Lamb of God, Black Dahlia Murder, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so this was only the first part. It was a 6-minute long video after I was finished recording it. I was actually expecting it to be a bit shorter, so I'm happy that I got more out of it than I expected. I hope you guys really like this. It took me forever to finish that much of the story. It's slow, but I think that just means that it's going to be better than some of my other stuff. A lot of my other stuff came really quickly, and it was less involved. I also really suspect that this one is going to be extended and possibly novelized, if that's a word. So, a little bit more news for you guys. Pussifer is the Pussifer cover, The Humbling River. It's going to take longer, even longer than expected. Also, I'm not going to be doing the vocals for it. Spinny wants to do the vocals for it. He asked me if that would be okay, and I said, yeah, sure. So he's going to do the vocals, and I'm going to play the guitar. The Dark Carnival is incredibly difficult. We're having trouble with the last little bit of it because there's so much involved in, there's so much going on in the last little bit of the song that it's hard to pick out specifics like the guitar or the vocals. So we're working on that. He's practicing what he does know. I'm working on what I do know. I'm missing about 3 lines from it, and they're nearly impossible to understand at the very end of the song. So both of those are going to take a little bit. But I will be doing a cover of like I said, a vocal cover of Tobuscus's song Sideburns. That'll probably be coming out fairly soon in the next few days, once I get the courage to actually sing and record it. Other than that, that's about all the news I have for you guys right now. But look forward to this story possibly being turned from a story into a series of episodes of short film type dealies. It'll be like a TV show except on YouTube. So, and not half an hour long episodes, only 10-minute long episodes. Or maybe half-hour long episodes split up into 10 or 3 10-minute. Either way, yeah, that is probably going to happen. And if it is going to happen, like I said, probably, not certain, but probably, but for certain, not for quite a while. It's but in, I don't know, few months, 3 or 4, I may have someone start animating it up until I can start recording it as a show. So that's about it. I'll see you guys later. I'll probably post another video tomorrow with some more information about things. How I'm doing, maybe another reading tomorrow of a poem or something else I've written. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed that story, and I'll see you guys later. Have a nice day.